Some corporations don't just bend the rules, they rewrite reality itself. From manipulated science to engineered deception, these companies told lies so convincing, the world believed them. And the most disturbing part? Most didn't collapse. They got richer. Today we're exposing what billions in PR tried to hide. Let's begin. Volkswagen, the clean diesel fraud. For years, Volkswagen's marketing painted a perfect picture. Clean diesel engines that delivered performance without harming the planet. Their ads showed happy families driving through pristine landscapes, promising environmental responsibility with every mile. The truth? Their engines were spewing up to 40 times more toxic nitrogen oxide than legal limits allowed. How did they hide it? Through a defeat device, sophisticated software programmed to detect when the car was undergoing emissions testing. During tests, the system would temporarily reduce pollution to pass regulations. But once back on real roads, the car returned to full toxic output, poisoning the air while drivers believed they were helping the environment. When regulators finally exposed the scheme in 2015, the world expected Volkswagen to crumble. Instead, after paying fines and issuing carefully worded apologies, they remained one of the top automakers globally. Because in modern business, scandal doesn't always destroy brands. Sometimes it just makes them more memorable. Nestlé, baby formula is better. In the 1970s, Nestlé launched one of the most predatory marketing campaigns ever documented. They deployed sales representatives disguised as medical professionals into hospitals across Africa, Asia, and South America. Their script was simple but devastating. Breastfeeding is outdated. Formula is safer, cleaner, more modern. They distributed free samples until mother's natural milk dried up, creating physiological dependency. Then the free samples stopped. Families, many living in poverty without access to clean water, were forced to buy formula they couldn't afford. To make it last, they diluted it with contaminated water. The consequences were catastrophic. Thousands of infant deaths across developing nations from malnutrition and waterborne diseases. Even after international protests, boycotts, and investigations exposing the strategy, Nestlé denied wrongdoing and continued expanding aggressively. Today, they're one of the wealthiest food corporations on Earth, controlling hundreds of brands. The lesson? Sometimes the truth doesn't sink a company, it floats it higher. Facebook, Meta. We don't track you. When Facebook launched, the brand sold one simple idea: connecting people. But behind the friendly interface, Facebook was building something far more valuable: a surveillance engine. They collected browsing patterns across the internet, messenger conversations, location data, even microphone activity triggers. Most users never truly consented because most never knew the full extent of what was happening. The breaking point came with Cambridge Analytica, a political consulting firm that obtained private data from 87 million Facebook users without consent and used it to influence elections worldwide, including the 2016 US presidential race. Congress summoned Zuckerberg. Governments launched investigations. Users felt betrayed and violated, but Facebook didn't fall. Instead, they paid regulatory fines, changed some privacy wording, rebranded as Meta, and continued collecting even more data. Now for virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and sophisticated behavioral prediction models. The surveillance didn't stop. It evolved. Because when information becomes the world's most valuable currency, privacy becomes negotiable. If this is opening your eyes, hit subscribe. We're just getting started. Drop a comment with "exposed" if you want part 2. Purdue Pharma, the safe opioid catastrophe. OxyContin was advertised as a medical breakthrough, a powerful, long-lasting painkiller that was remarkably safe and, most importantly, non-addictive. Doctors loved it. Hospitals recommended it. Patients trusted it completely. But internal documents later revealed the devastating truth. Purdue Pharma knew OxyContin was highly addictive from the very beginning. Sales representatives were explicitly instructed to tell doctors the addiction risk was less than 1%, a claim with no legitimate scientific backing. Meanwhile, overdose deaths exploded. Prescriptions skyrocketed. Entire regions, particularly rural communities, fell into addiction crises that destroyed families and devastated generations. When lawsuits finally forced Purdue to admit wrongdoing, did justice prevail? Not exactly. The Sackler family, the billionaires who owned and profited from Purdue, strategically moved their wealth offshore, shielded assets through legal structures, and avoided prison entirely. Purdue declared bankruptcy, but the family retained billions. Today, despite causing one of the deadliest drug crises in American history, the people responsible remain free and wealthy. Because in the corporate world, penalties are negotiable. Profits are permanent. Coca-Cola? Sugar isn't the problem. Starting in the 1960s, Scientific research began clearly linking sugar consumption to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Coca-Cola faced a critical choice: accept the science and reformulate, or fight back. They chose war. Millions of dollars flowed to scientists, researchers, and universities to manufacture a new narrative. The problem isn't what you eat, it's that you don't exercise enough. They funded studies designed to reach predetermined conclusions. They ghost-wrote research papers. They turned individual scientists into brand assets who would publicly defend sugar while privately cashing Coca-Cola checks. Meanwhile, public health experts fighting for truth were drowned out by corporate-funded science. The strategy worked brilliantly. While critics warned about sugar, Coca-Cola scaled into one of the most powerful beverage brands in history, selling over 1.9 billion servings daily. Even today, their marketing follows the same playbook: show happiness, family, youth, and refreshment. Never show ingredients, never show consequences. Because when a lie is sweet enough, people swallow it without question. Apple. We would never slow your iPhone. For years, millions of iPhone users noticed a suspicious pattern. Their devices mysteriously slowed down right as Apple launched new models. Conspiracy theory, paranoia, number cold, calculated strategy. In 2017, Apple admitted they intentionally throttled older iPhones through software updates. Their official excuse was battery protection, slowing performance to prevent unexpected shutdowns. But critics saw the obvious truth: planned obsolescence. Slow the device, frustrate the user, encourage the upgrade. Apple offered a half-hearted apology and discounted battery replacements temporarily, but never stopped the practice of controlling device performance through software. The result? Their upgrade cycle accelerated dramatically. Customer frustration translated directly into record-breaking profits quarter after quarter. Ethically questionable? Absolutely. Strategically brilliant? Unfortunately, yes, because in tech, frustration isn't a bug. It's a feature designed to drive sales. FIFA. Fair play and corruption. FIFA positions itself as the noble guardian of the world's most beloved sport. Their brand promises integrity, fair competition, and global unity through football. But leaked investigations and FBI operations revealed a very different story. One filled with systematic bribery, vote buying, money laundering, and manipulation of World Cup host selections. Countries spent billions of dollars chasing the prestige of hosting, while backdoor deals decided outcomes long before any official vote occurred. Executives accepted cash-stuffed envelopes and luxury gifts in exchange for their votes. The FBI eventually called it one of the largest corruption scandals in sports history. Arrests were made, convictions secured, yet today, stadiums remain packed, sponsorship deals continue, fans still cheer, because once an organization becomes synonymous with global entertainment, morality becomes a footnote in the financial statements. McDonald's, 100% beef, but not what you think. McDonald's famously advertised their burgers as made with 100% beef. Sounds straightforward and trustworthy, right? But here's the deceptive brilliance. Legally, that phrase only refers to the beef portion of the patty itself. Everything else, fillers, preservatives, stabilizers, binding agents, didn't need to be included in that marketing claim. It wasn't technically a lie, it was engineered ambiguity designed to create a false impression. Marketing did its job perfectly. Customers trusted the slogan and assumed they were getting pure beef. Meanwhile, McDonald's expanded into one of the world's largest restaurant chains, serving 69 million customers daily across 100+ countries. The lesson? Sometimes corporations don't need to lie directly. They just need consumers to make assumptions that benefit the brand. TikTok. Your data is safe. As TikTok exploded to over 1 billion users globally, governments began asking uncomfortable questions. Where exactly does all this user data go? TikTok executives consistently insisted user information stays secure and protected. But leaked internal documents revealed a very different reality. Messages from ByteDance engineers stated plainly, everything is seen in China. From precise location data to facial recognition training, from browsing habits to biometric information, TikTok was collecting one of the most detailed digital behavioral maps ever assembled. Multiple countries banned the app on government devices due to security concerns. Investigations were launched, yet billions of users kept scrolling, dancing, and sharing. Because in the attention economy, convenience beats caution every single time, and entertainment beats ethics. Marlboro, doctors recommend smoking. Before warning labels existed, before public awareness campaigns, cigarette companies deployed a shocking marketing weapon: medical authority itself. Doctors were paid handsomely to appear in advertisements claiming smoking was calming, aided digestion, and was recommended by health professionals. Some ads featured physicians in white coats holding cigarettes, lending scientific credibility to addiction. But internal company memos later revealed that tobacco companies knew cigarettes caused cancer decades before the public did, and actively worked to suppress that evidence through fake research, industry-funded scientists, and aggressive lobbying. By the time regulations finally arrived, millions were already addicted. Entire generations were hooked. And the tobacco industry? Still one of the most profitable sectors on Earth, generating hundreds of billions in annual revenue. Here's the uncomfortable pattern. These companies didn't succeed despite lying. They succeeded because the lie was profitable. When cigarettes were questioned, they used doctors. When opioids were doubted, they used fake science. When phones slowed down, they used excuses. When data was harvested, they used fine print. The formula repeats: profit first, truth later. Accountability, optional. So the real question isn't, why did these companies lie? It's, how many are lying right now, and we just haven't caught them yet? If you want part 2 exposing more corporate secrets, hit like and subscribe. Drop exposed in the comments. Because this series, it's just getting started.